This story was shared by a search and rescue officer working in a national forest in the US, and I think it will really make you think. His job is to search for and rescue people who get lost in the deep woods. These are wild places that not everyone can make it through. When you step into the forest, you feel the eerie silence, as if everything around you is hiding something. One of the stories he told was about a search in a remote forest in California. A family had reported that their daughter, a young woman, had gone missing while taking a walk in the woods. The rescue team was immediately deployed, and they began their search. However, the first thing that unsettled them was how long it was taking. Everything seemed to drag on much longer than previous searches. They had been searching all day and still hadn't found a trace of the woman. He and his team decided to rest at a spot a few miles away by a large lake, hoping to find some clue. But when they arrived, they found something strange. The woman was standing by the lake, but she didn't seem like someone who had been lost for days. She didn't appear exhausted or disoriented at all. She actually seemed pretty calm. She couldn't remember anything about the days she had been missing. All she said was that she had gotten lost and didn't know what to do. What was even stranger was when they examined the footprints she had left. They noticed they didn't match what they had found earlier. Some of the tracks had mysteriously disappeared. The footprints they had found throughout the day had vanished overnight, as if some invisible force was altering reality around them. When they took her back, the officer started to feel like something was off. These strange events started happening not only in that forest, but also in future searches. Another time, when he was searching for a man lost in the woods, he and his team encountered something similar. The man had been lost for days, and when they found him, he couldn't remember anything about what had happened during the time he was missing. The stories he told about where he had been made everyone even more confused. He said he had seen strange paths that didn't resemble any trails in the forest he had walked before. This made the officer begin to question things: the disappearing tracks, the unexplainable phenomena. It all made him feel like something supernatural was lurking in those woods. One time, as he walked through a specific area of the forest, he had the distinct feeling that someone was watching him, but when he turned around, there was no one there. All he could see was the shadows of the trees swaying in the wind. These strange occurrences kept happening, and he couldn't shake the feeling of fear creeping up on him. One night, while checking a spot near a small waterfall, he felt the presence of someone again. The feeling was so intense that it made him stop and look around. This time, he saw a faint figure standing behind a large rock. He stood perfectly still, barely breathing, and for a brief moment, the figure disappeared as if it had never been there. Gradually, these experiences made him uneasy. Every time he entered the forest, he felt like some invisible force was following him. Then one night, he decided to go back to the spot where he had felt the strangest presence, the place where the unexplainable tracks had appeared. This time, he didn't just feel the presence. He could hear slow footsteps behind him. He turned around, but there was nothing. Still, the feeling of being watched remained. This wasn't just a coincidence. He wasn't the only one who had experienced these strange phenomena. Others in his rescue team also felt the same things. Every time they went into the forest, they all felt like something or someone was watching them from afar, but none of them could explain it. When he posted this story on Reddit, many people responded, sharing their own similar experiences. Maybe the unexplainable things are just a part of wild areas like this, places where humans can't control everything. So, this story from a U.S. Forest Service search and rescue officer has become one of the scariest stories I've ever read on Reddit. One that makes you question if the unexplainable truly exists in this world.